After the news of the pregnancy settled in, Adora and Ekene began to embrace the idea of welcoming a new life into their family. It felt like a gift from the universe, a sign that despite all these challenges, they were meant to keep growing together. Adora found herself daydreaming about the baby, whether it will be a boy or a girl, and how the children will react when they find out that they were going to have a new sibling. Ekene too was overjoyed. He started planning, making small changes around the house to prepare for the baby's arrival. "We will need a new crib," he said one evening as they sat together after the children had gone to sleep. "And maybe we can repaint the nursery." She smiled as she watched him, his excitement contagious. "We have time, Ekene. We don't need to do everything right now." "I know," Ekene said, "but I can't help it. I want everything to be perfect." Adora placed a hand on her belly, feeling the warmth of life growing inside her. Adora telling Chike and Amara about the new baby was a moment filled with joy and laughter. One evening, after dinner, Ekene called the children into the living room. They sat on the couch, their eyes wide with curiosity as they waited for their parents to speak. Adora couldn't help but smile at their innocence. "We have some news," she began, glancing at Ekene for support. Ekene cleared his throat. "You two are going to have a sibling." Chike's eyes lit up. "A new baby? Really?" Adora nodded. "Yes, in a few months, there will be a new baby in the house." Amara, still young to fully understand, looked confused. "Where is the baby?" Adora laughed, placing a hand on her belly. "Right here, Amara. The baby is growing inside me." Chike jumped up, running to his mother's side. "Can I feel it?" "Not yet," Adora said, her heart full of love for her son. "But soon, when the baby is bigger, you will be able to feel it." Chike placed his hand gently on her belly anyway, his face full of wonder. "I can't wait to meet the baby." Amara, still unsure, simply copied her brother, placing her tiny hand next to his. "Baby," she said softly, her eyes wide with curiosity. Ekene and Adora shared the look, their hearts swelling with happiness. It was moments like this that made everything worth it. As the months passed, the pregnancy progressed smoothly, but not without its challenges. Adora found herself feeling more tired than usual, her body aching as the baby grew. Ekene, true to his word, took on more of the household responsibilities, making sure that Adora could rest as much as possible. But there were still moments when the weight of their past crept in. One afternoon, while Adora was resting, Ekene came home later than expected. He had been helping a neighbor fix their roof, and time had gotten away from him. When he finally walked through the door, Adora was sitting in the couch, her face tight with worry. "You are late," she said quietly, her voice filled with familiar edge of fear. Ekene sighed, realizing how much his absence still affected her. I'm sorry, Adora. I should have called. I didn't mean to worry you. Adora looked away, her emotion bubbling to the surface. It just reminded me of before, when you used to disappear without a word. I know you are different now, but it's still hard to forget. Ekene knelt beside her, taking her hand in his. I'm not going anywhere, Adora. I promised you. Those days are behind us. I should have been more mindful and I would do better. But I'm here. I'm always here. Adora nodded, a tear slipping down her cheek. I know, it's just hard sometimes. Ekene kissed her hand, his voice filled with love and reassurance. We will get through this, Adora. We will get through everything. One evening, as they sat together after dinner, Adora suddenly grimaced. She placed a hand on her belly, her eyes wide with surprise. Ekene sitting beside her immediately grew concerned. What is it? Are you okay? Adora's face broke into a smile. The baby kicked. Ekene's eye lit up with excitement. Really? Adora nodded, taking his hand and placing it on her belly. Here, wait for it. They sat in silence for a few moments and then Ekene felt it. A tiny and distinct movement under his hand. His face broke into a wide grin. I felt it. Adora laughed, her heart swelling with happiness. It's amazing, isn't it? Ekene nodded, still in surprise. It really is. Our baby is already so strong. Chike and Amara, curious about what was happening, came over to their parents. What's going on? Chike asked. The baby kicked, Ekene said, still surprised. Chike's eyes widened. Can I feel it too? Adora nodded, guiding Chike's hand to her belly. They all sat together, waiting, and after a few moments, the baby kicked again. Chike's face lit up with joy. I felt it! Amara, not wanting to be left out, placed her hand on Adora's belly as well. Me too! The family sat together, their hearts full of love and excitement for the new life growing inside Adora. In that moment, everything felt perfect. As the pregnancy progressed, Adora and Ekene wanted to make sure everything was going well. They invited the nurse, Nurse Nancy, to come and check on Adora and the baby. Nurse Nancy was a young woman with a gentle presence. She had helped bring many babies into the world, and her wisdom was respected by everyone in the community. When she arrived, she greeted Adora with a warm smile. Let's take a look at you, my dear, she said, her voice kind. Adora lay down as Nurse Nancy carefully examined her. After a few moments, the nurse nodded. Satisfied, you are doing well, Adora. The baby is healthy and everything is as it should be. Adora let out a sign of relief. Thank you, Nurse Nancy. I have been feeling more tired lately and I wasn't sure if that was normal. Nurse Nancy smiled. It's perfectly normal, my dear. Pregnancy takes a lot of energy, but you are strong. Just make sure to rest when you need to. And let Ekene take care of the heavy lifting. Ekene, who had been standing nearby, nodded. "I will make sure of it, nurse." As Nurse Nancy prepared to leave, she placed a hand on Adora's shoulder. "You are blessed, Adora. This child will bring great joy to your family. Take care of yourself and everything will be just fine." Adora smiled, feeling a sense of peace wash over her. "Thank you, Nurse Nancy." As the nurse left, Ekene wrapped his arms around Adora. "We are almost there, Adora. Just a few more months and we'll meet our little one." Adora leaned into him, feeling the warmth of his embrace. "I can't wait." As Adora's pregnancy entered its final stages, the days began to feel longer. The anticipation of meeting their new baby filled the house with a sense of excitement but also impatience. Every small moment, every tiny discomfort made Adora wonder if the baby was on its way. She found herself growing more tired and more eager for the day to come. Ekene, ever the attentive husband, tried his best to keep Adora comfortable. He prepared her favorite meals, made sure she had plenty of rest, and took over most of the household chores. He even started sleeping lightly at night, just in case Adora needed him. But as the days turned into weeks, the waiting began to take its toll. "I feel like this baby is never coming," Adora said one afternoon, sinking into a chair with a sigh. Her belly had grown so large that even sitting comfortably had become a challenge. Ekene smiled, kneeling beside her and placing a hand on her swelling belly. "This baby is just taking its time. Don't worry, it won't be much longer." Adora looked at him, her frustration softening into a smile. "I know, you just had to wait when you are this big and tired." Ekene laughed, rubbing her belly gently. "You are doing an amazing job, and soon we will be holding our little one in our arms." Adora sighed, leaning back in the chair. "I can't wait for that moment." One night, as Adora lay in bed trying to get comfortable, she felt a sudden sharp pain in her lower back. She screamed, shifting her position, but the pain didn't go away. Instead, it seemed to grow stronger. She glanced over at Ekene, who was fast asleep beside her. Not wanting to wake him just yet, Adora took a deep breath and tried to relax. But the pain continued, coming in waves that made her feel increasingly uncomfortable. After what felt like hours, Adora gently shook Ekene awake. "Ekene, I think something is happening." Ekene stood up, wide-eyed with concern. "What is it? Is it the baby?" Adora nodded, her face tense with discomfort. "I'm not sure, but I have been feeling these pains for a while now." Ekene quickly got out of the bed, his heart racing with both excitement and worry. "Okay, let's go to the nurse. It might be time." Adora stood up, holding her belly as another wave of pain hit her. Ekene rushed to her side, helping her steady herself. Together, they made their way to the hospital, their heart pounding with anticipation. When they arrived at the hospital, the nurse greeted them with a knowing smile. "It's time, is it?" she said, her eyes full of warmth. Adora nodded, breathing deeply through the pain. I think so. The nurse led them inside and began to examine Adora, checking the baby's position and monitoring her progress. After a few moments, she looked up at them with a calm expression. It's still early. The baby will come, but it might take some time. Adora sighed, feeling both relieved and exhausted. The waiting had already been so long, and now it seemed there was more waiting ahead. Ekene held her hand, his voice full of reassurance. We are almost there, Adora. You have got this. Hours passed as Adora labored through the night, each contraction bringing them closer to meeting their baby. Ekene stayed by her side the entire time, wiping her forehead, holding her hand, and offering words of encouragement. As the hours stretched on, Adora grew more tired, her body weary from the effort. I don't know if I can do this, she whispered, her voice trembling. Nurse Nancy, who had seen many mothers go through this journey, placed a hand on Adora's shoulder. You are strong, Adora. You have carried this child with love, and now you are bringing them into the world. You can do this. Adora nodded, drawing strength from the nurse's words. She focused on her breathing, on the love she felt for the family, and pushed forward, determined to meet her baby. After what felt like an eternity, the moment finally came. With one last powerful push, Adora heard the sound she had been waiting for, the first cry of her newborn baby. Tears filled her eyes as Nurse Nancy gently lifted the baby and placed it in her arms. It's a boy, the nurse said, her voice soft and full of pride. Adora looked at the tiny bundle of joy in her arms, her heart overflowing with love and relief. She had done it. She had brought her child into the world. Ekene, standing beside her, was speechless, his eyes filled with tears as he looked at his newborn son. He is handsome, he whispered, his voice thick with emotion. Adora smiled through her tears, gazing at their son's tiny face. He's perfect. For a moment, the world stood still. All the pain, all the waiting, all the uncertainty melted away, leaving only love, the love of a mother for her child, the love of a family brought together by this precious new life. As the baby settled into Adora's arm, Ekene leaned down and kissed her forehead. You are amazing, Adora. I am so proud of you. Adora smiled, feeling a deep sense of peace. We did this together, Ekene. We are family, and in that moment, everything felt right. The first day after the baby's arrival were filled with joy and adjustment. Chike and Amara were thrilled to meet their baby brother, who they named Ikenna, meaning his father's strength in Igbo. They couldn't wait to hold him, their small hands gently touching his tiny fingers and toes. Adora, still recovering from the birth, spent most of her time resting with the baby. Ekene took over the household duties, making sure everything ran smoothly so Adora could focus on bonding with Ikenna. Despite the exhaustion that came with caring for a newborn, Adora couldn't help but feel an overwhelming sense of happiness. Ikenna was a blessing, and every little cry made her heart swell with love. One evening, as she sat in the rocking chair nursing Ikenna, Ekene came inside the room and knelt beside her. "How are you feeling?" he asked, his voice gentle. "Tired," Adora admitted with a smile, "but happy, so happy." Ekene smiled, reaching out to stroke Ikenna's tiny hand. "He is our miracle. Adora, after everything we have been through, it feels like a new beginning." Adora nodded, tears welling up in her eyes. "It does, and I'm so grateful for it." They sat together in the quiet of the evening, watching their son sleep, feeling the weight of the world lift off their shoulders. This was what they had worked so hard for, a family full of love, hope, and the promise of a brighter future. Chike and Amara quickly grew into their roles of elder siblings. From the moment they laid eyes on their baby brother, every day they hovered around him, fascinated by his tiny fingers, his soft cries, and the way he seemed to recognize their voices. Chike, the elders, took his responsibility seriously. He would watch over Ikenna while Amara took short breaks, making sure he was comfortable in his crib or singing little songs to keep him calm. He even asked Adora and Ekene for extra chores around the house, eager to help in any way he could. Amara, though younger, was equally enchanted by her new brother. She would sit beside Adora as she nursed Ikenna, gently touching the baby's tiny feet and smiling every time Ikenna moved. Amara often asked, "Can I hold him, Mama? I will be careful." Adora was proud of how both of her children had embraced their new roles. She watched as they poured all their love into their baby brother, their bond growing stronger each day. One afternoon, as Adora was resting in the living room, Chike walked over to her with a serious expression on his face. "Mama, I'm going to protect Ikenna forever," he said, his voice filled with determination. "No one will ever hurt him." Adora's heart swelled with pride and emotion. She pulled him into a hug, tears filling her eyes. "You're such a good big brother, Chike. Ikenna is lucky to have you." Amara, not wanting to be left out, ran over and wrapped her arms around Adora's leg. "I will protect him too, Mama." Adora laughed, wiping away her tears. "You are both amazing. Ikenna is surrounded by so much love." As she looked at her three children, Adora couldn't help but feel like the luckiest mother in the world. Despite all the challenges they had faced, they had made it through, and now they had everything they had ever wanted: love, laughter, and a family that was stronger than ever. While Adora was busy adjusting to life with a newborn, Ekene found himself taking on more than ever before. He managed the household chores, helped Chike and Amara with their schoolwork, and made sure Adora had everything she needed to rest and recover. His days were long, and by the time evening came, he was often exhausted. But despite the exhaustion, Ekene found himself expressing moments of quiet reflection. Later at night, after everyone had gone to bed, he would sit alone in the living room, thinking about how far they had come. The mistakes of the past seemed like a distant memory now, overshadowed by the joy of their growing family. One night, as he sat in the dimly lit room, Ekene heard a small noise from the nursery. Curious, he got up and quickly walked to the room. Peeking inside, Adora was fast asleep, and Ikenna lay in his crib, wide-eyed but content. Ekene smiled softly, watching his baby boy. He stared up at him, his big curious eyes taking in the world around him. Gently, Ekene reached into the crib and stroked his tiny hand. Ikenna's finger curled around his, and Ekene's heart swelled with love. "I will always be here for you," he whispered, his voice filled with emotion. "You, your brother, and your sister, I will protect you all." In that quiet moment, Ekene felt a deep sense of peace wash over him. His family was his world, and nothing mattered more. All the mistakes he had made in the past had led him to this moment, a moment of redemption, love, and hope for the future.